Two of my favorite superheroes growing up were Superman and Batman. So when I noticed that there was one comic book that had a Superman Batman team up in every issue, I was sold. In fact, the very first comic book I bought was a World's Finest comic book, and I still have it. Welcome to another episode of the comics my mom let me keep. Stay tuned for the video.
Anachronic.
The 1960s were a transformative period for comic books, and one of the most iconic collaborations of the era was Batman and Superman team-ups in the World's Finest comics. These stories brought together two of DC's greatest heroes, showcasing their unique abilities and personalities as they faced off against a myriad of threats. The World's Finest series began in 1941 as a way to capitalize on DC Comics' two most popular heroes, Superman and Batman. The two heroes had appeared together on covers and in separate stories within the same issues, but their paths did not cross within the narratives. In World's Finest Comics, Superman and Batman first teamed up in a story in issue number 71 from July of 1954. However, the first official team-up of Batman and Superman in comics occurred in Superman number 76, published in 1952, where a chance encounter set the premise for their future partnership. It was during the 1960s that the Batman-Superman team-ups truly flourished. This period saw the two heroes joining forces in tales that were a blend of action, adventure, and sometimes campy humor that was characteristic of the time. These team-ups were not just about Batman and Superman. They occasionally included other characters from the DC universe. For instance, the series introduced the team of Jimmy Olsen and Robin, adding a new dimension to the narrative and expanding the scope of the adventures. Also, each issue had a backup story which featured other heroes such as Green Arrow, Aquaman, and Tommy Tomorrow. In the 60s, things got a whole lot more psychedelic. Science fiction writer Edmund Hamilton put a very unique mark on his Superman and World's Finest stories. He had written for sci-fi titles like Amazing Stories and Weird Tales, and created sci-fi hero Captain Future. He also penned many spaced-out short stories. Writing for World's Finest Comics for the better part of the 60s, he created many brightly colored adventures that saw the World's Finest team take on garish versions of themselves, bratty super and bat kids from the future, and cavemen capturing aliens. This is one comic book that I really looked forward to each month, and I was fairly successful in collecting most of the books, starting with number 113 from November of 1960 through number 168 from August of 1967, missing only a few issues here and there. I'm thankful that when my family moved in 1969 and my mom asked that I cut my comic book collection in half, I kept my collection of World's Finest comics. Let's start with the very first book I bought as a kid with my hard-earned 10 cents. Here we have World's Finest number 105. The cover, as with most that I will show you today, was by Kurt Swan. Interior pencils were by Dick Sprang with inks by Sheldon Moldoff. And Bill Finger scripted the story. Let's say that's better there. So, the story entitled The Alien Superman shows Superman spinning a cocoon around himself and becoming an alien with no memory of his past, not recognizing Batman and Robin. There were some interesting twists and turns in this story which kept 8-year-old Joe entertained. Now, if we go through the remaining World's Finest comics my mom let me keep, I'll go a bit in depth on the keys. So number 113, unfortunately, has no cover, but it had a cover date of November 1960. It is a key issue with the first team up of Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk. In this story, Batmite, Batman and Robin's biggest fan, is blamed for some hijinks actually done by Mxyzptlk. The two battle to a draw, but when Mxyzptlk decides to just bother Superman, Batmind reverses all his attempts, so he says his name backwards and leaves. He wasn't having any fun. Batman, Robin, and Superman then trick Batmind into leaving as well, finally having some peace. Okay, the next one I have also has no cover. It is World's Finest number 115 from February of 1961. The Curse of the Doomed Superman. There you go. All right, cool. Next one up, let's see, is number 116 from, let's see, that's from March 1961. All right. Superman, Batman, and Robin, Battle of the Creature from Beyond. You see the sci-fi. There we go. You see the sci-fi elements here, right? Okay. Superman says, "Great Scott, that fantastic creature with powers equal to mine has Batman and Robin dangling in the air like puppets." Now, like a lot of these 1960s stories, that probably never even happened in the storyline. Next one, also from 1961, is number 119 from August. All right, this one is The Secret of the Tiger Man. And there he is, Tiger Man with a T. I like that, the T, right? Okay. Next one we got is from September 1961, number 120. For some reason, I always remembered this particular book. I'm not sure. Challenge of the Faceless Creatures. Right. Next one we have is number 121 from November, cover date November 1961. Batman coming through a mirror. All right. The Mirror Batman. Sorry for all the movement. I'm just trying to get the best picture I can for you. The Mirror Batman. Okay. Next one I have is from February 1962. All right. And we have another team up of Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk. All right. The incredible team of Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk. Oh no, these two super imps created that weird beast, but even their combined magic cannot destroy it now, and neither can Superman. Okay. Oh my. The drama. Sorry, guys. Next one from May of 1962. Right. Hostages of the Isle of Doom. Hostages of the Isle of Doom. Okay. We're still in 1962, and we are in June. And this one is The Negative Superman. The Negative Superman. All right, next one from September of 1962. The Power That Transformed Batman. What is Robin saying there? It's Batman. He's changed to some kind of weird, menacing being. You've got to stop him, Superman. Okay, there you go. Next one, November 1962. The Superman Batman team is threatened by Joker Luthor Incorporated. Yeah, there we go. The two of them teaming up. Looks like fun. Also from 1962, December, number 130. The Riddle of the Floor. The Riddle of the Four Planets. There you go. And interestingly, I guess I don't know why I did this as a kid, but I have numbers up here. Can you see those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it looks like. Right in the swishy part of Superman. And there's also some ink over here. I usually didn't do that, so I don't know why I did it here. But anyway, there you go. All right. Now we go back into into 1963, February of 1963, The Mystery of the Crimson Avenger. Okay. Now, from August of 1963, The Menace of the Future Man. Okay. Next, March 1963, Batman and Robin, Medieval Bandits. That's quite a big chunk of kryptonite there. Batman says, "You're the one obstacle." Let's get this in. "You're the one obstacle in our way, Superman. But this kryptonite cannonball will leave you doomed in the past." A lot of times when you saw these type of things, there was a twist at the end of some kind, or it turns out to be a dream or something like that. But I haven't read these in a long time, so we'll see. Oh, this is another cover that I always remembered, and it really shocked me at the time. The super-length Superman-Batman adventure, The Batman Nobody Remembered. See that? "Robin, unmask this man and let's take a look at his face." No, Robin, I must keep my identity a secret. I'm Batman. Doesn't anybody remember me?" Sorry, no. Okay. Next one, from December 63, The Secret of the Captured Cavemen. And here you've got, looks like some aliens that have captured a number of cavemen, and Superman and Batman and Robin are cave people back there. Must have gone back in time. Okay, with number 138. This is my double. But the second one I have, 138, does not have a cover. Same one, though. Okay. Now, February, going into 1964, right? February, number 139, featuring The Ghost of Batman. Okay. And from March of 1964, World's Finest, number 140, The Clayface Superman. Cool cover. The next one is a key. World's Finest, number 141, The Olsen Robin Team versus the Superman Batman Team. It's from May of 1964. There we go. It really is the first time that Batman is depicted with his yellow chest emblem, but not on the cover, but inside. Many think Detective Comics number 327, including CGC, says it's the first time the gold emblem was introduced, but this came out 2 weeks before. The next key is World's Finest number 162 from June of 1964. All right. It's the first appearance of the composite Superman. Edmund Hamilton and Superman artist Kurt Swan presented a very strange tale where Batman and Superman face off against a villain named the Composite Superman. Joe Meach, a museum janitor, gains the combined powers of the entire legion of superheroes and becomes a formidable adversary for Batman and Superman. Next up, from August of 1964, number 143, an amazing adventure in Candor, the feud between Batman and Superman. So obviously Superman doesn't have any powers here. Cool. Next one, September 1964, number 144. Clayface is back, but this time he teams up with Brainiac. The 1001 Tricks of Clayface and Brainiac. Next one up, number 145 from November of 64. Batman as the warden and Superman as the convict. Prison for Heroes. Okay, and the next one is number 146, Batman, Son of Krypton. Batman's trying to tell Superman that he was also born on Krypton. Right? It looks like he's got him convinced on this cover. Okay, so that was the end of 1964. We go into 1965, February, number 147, Batman and Superman in the Doomed Boy Heroes. Let's get back. There we go. And then we get into March and number 148. And this is reminiscent of a recent animated DC story. Superman and Batman Outlaws. Why are the policemen shooting at him? They know it's just going to bounce off of him. All right, now May, right, of 1965, correct. Number 149, The Game of Secret Identities. Okay. Number 150 from June of 1965, Superman and Batman in the Duel of the Super Gamblers. From August of 1965, World's Finest, number 151. What is this? Oh, The Caveman of Steel. There we go. Caveman of Steel. Okay. And from September of 1965, we have Not a Hoax, Not Imaginary. They're the real McCoys. The Colossal Kids. Where are they? Where did they get their powers? Not an imaginary tale, guys. The Colossal Kids. Now, another key is World's Finest Comics number 153, right, from November of 1965. Now, this is famous because it has the Batman slapping a Robin meme. If you look online, there's so many to choose from. Now, up until number 153, Superman and Batman were close allies and friends. But this issue featured an imaginary story called The Clash of the Cape and Cowl, set in a world where Batman and Superman were enemies, because Batman believed that Superman killed his father, Thomas Wayne. Cool. And another key from December is number 154 from December 1965. This is the first appearance of the Super Sons, Superman Jr. and Batman Jr. This issue presents an imaginary story set in a future where the sons of Batman and Superman team up for adventures just like their fathers. The concept of the Super Sons was later retconned to have occurred on an alternate Earth, Earth 154, following the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. The story unfolds with Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne marrying their longtime loves, Lois Lane and Batwoman Kathy Kane, respectively. Their children, Kal-El Jr. and Bruce Wayne Jr., grow up to become friends and eventually don the costumes of their fathers to carry on the legacy of heroism. The narrative explores themes of legacy, friendship, and the weight of expectations as the young heroes strive to live up to the iconic status of their parents. So World's Finest 154 not only introduced readers to Super Sons, but also showcased the last appearance of Batwoman in the costume during that era. World's Finest number 155 from February of 1966, so we're into 66 now. The cowled crime fighter hangs his cape when it's exit Batman, enter Nightman. Okay. And the final key issue of this run of World's Finest Comics that my mom let me keep is issue number 156 from March of 1966. There you go. It's the first appearance of Bizarro Batman. In the story titled The Federation of Bizarro Idiots, Bizarro number one, right, creates a Bizarro Batman. Both characters come to Earth to fill in for an absent Batman and Superman, but it leads to a series of disastrous and, as you might imagine, comical events. The narrative takes a twist when the Joker convinces the Bizarro duo to join him on a crime spree. Right? So then they see what's going on and they have a change of heart when they realize the Joker's actions are not aligned with their own twisted sense of morality. This is one of the few issues of the series where Batman and Superman do not appear on the cover. And it's the first issue to feature the go-go checks across the top of the cover. Okay. Next we have, from May of 1966, we have another Imaginary Tales, The Abominable Brats. You can see they have like a lot of imaginary tales with them having two kids of some sort. Next one from June of 66, The Invulnerable Super Enemy. Next from August of 1966, number 159, The Cape and Cowl Crooks. #160 from September of 1966, The Fatal Forecasts of Dr. Zodiac. Yeah, I'm missing number 161, but from November of 1966, I have 162, Pawns of the Jousting Master. Next up from December of 1966, number 163, The Court of No Hope. Going into 1967, we have number 164, featuring Genia, Mistress of Malice in the Broken Code. From March of 1967, this is cool. Cool cover. Who will sit upon the throne of the underworld, Superman or Batman? The Crown of Crime. And from May of 1967, World's Finest number 166, featuring the first time the Batman and Superman team of the future against the future Muto Joker team. Next to last, number 167 from June of 1967, the new Superman Batman team. Who are they? Who are they? And the last comic that my mom let me keep and that I kept when we moved in 1969 was World's Finest from August of 1967, number 168. Will the real stupid superheroes stand up, or are they through? Cool. The World's Finest comics of the 1960s also reflected the broader cultural trends of the time. The optimism of the era, the space race, and the sense of a global community found their way into the pages of these comics, influencing the stories and the challenges faced by the two heroes. They represent a golden age of storytelling where anything seemed possible and where the greatest heroes could come together to ensure justice and peace. The significance of Batman and Superman's team-ups can't be overstated. They paved the way for countless other superhero collaborations and remain a beloved aspect of the DC universe. Their partnership continues to evolve, inspiring new stories that explore the depths of their relationship and the unwavering commitment to justice. Thanks for watching. While you're waiting for the next video, check out the prior episodes of this series, The Comics My Mom Let Me Keep.